Hey folks, gather round. I've got another story that'll make your skin crawl. You know how sometimes you hear about a case that just doesn't add up right? Well, today I'm going to tell you about the murder of Nona Dirksmeyer, a beauty queen from Arkansas that was found dead in her apartment back in 2005. It is a case that still has everyone unnerved. It wasn't good. Folks are wondering if justice will ever be served on this one. So let's dive in and see what we can piece together, shall we? First of all, welcome to Strange Files. It's story time. Okay, here we go. Nona Dirksmeyer was a 19-year-old college student and a Miss Arkansas contestant. She was living in good old Russellville, Arkansas, and by all accounts, she was a sweetheart. Her boyfriend at the time was Kevin Jones, and they seemed like the perfect couple. But as we all know, appearances can be deceiving. On December 15th, 2005, Nona's life was brutally cut short. She was found beaten to death in her apartment. And one of the insidious things that happened was that the killer used the base of their own floor lamp to do the deed. Talk about a real-life horror movie. Now, the police, they had their work cut out for them. They started questioning Kevin. And let me tell you, he had some explaining to do. He was covered in Nona's blood when they found him, and his alibi for the time was not exactly that solid. But was Kevin really capable of such a heinous crime? That's what the investigators were trying to figure out. So as the investigation heated up, Kevin became the prime suspect. You see, he agreed to take one of them polygraph tests, but things didn't go so well for him. He failed it miserably. And the police were utterly convinced they had finally caught their guy. But here's the thing. Despite all the evidence pointing to Kevin, he maintained his innocence with unwavering conviction. And then, just when you thought it was all wrapped up and the case was closed, another suspect emerged. Yeah. Another suspect. Might have not been Kevin. Casting a shadow of a doubt over everything. His name was Gary Dunn, a man who lived across from Nona in the same apartment complex. This place was supposed to be a safe haven for Nona, but it didn't turn out that way. You see, Gary had a shady past, having spent time in the big house for a violent attack on a jogger, and that sent chills down the spine of those who knew him. Now, his DNA was found on a condom wrapper in Nona's kitchen, a discovery that was like a whole new ball game, turning this investigation topsy-turvy on its head. Now, the case against Gary was largely circumstantial, but it was enough to take him to trial twice. That's right, twice. Both times the jury could not agree on a verdict, and Gary, well, he walked away free, leaving the justice system stuck in limbo. Meanwhile, Kevin had already been acquitted. So you've got two suspects and no conviction. Now, that's enough to make your head spin with confusion and frustration. You see, the climax of this whole saga is when you realize that despite all the investigations, trials, and suspects, Nona's murder remains a haunting mystery that refuses to be unsolved. It's like the killer is still out there, living their best life, while Nona's family and friends are left with nothing but unanswered questions and a deep sense of injustice. It's a real kick in the gut and a horrible reminder that the justice system doesn't always work perfectly for the victims. and for the victim's family. And you can't help but wonder if the police missed something crucial or if they were just too quick to point fingers, jumping to conclusions without any solid evidence. Yeah, this one doesn't have an answer. You know, I've always been into true crime podcasts. That's why I started this one. And I don't like stories like this. I kind of debated if I was going to do this one or not because I do not like unsolved mysteries or murders. But then I thought about this for a while and I'm like, this isn't about just entertainment. This isn't just for us to scratch our true podcast itches so that we can wonder why psychopaths are the way they are. But I wanted to bring it to people's attention because it's unsolved and maybe we can remind people that it still needs to get solved. It is a tough pill to swallow. The constant reminder of the pain that lingers longer after a crime is committed. And what about Kevin and Gary? Are they innocent or did they just get lucky? I think the not knowing is what makes this case so haunting, you know, leaving a trail of doubt and speculation behind, because everybody wants justice. We all want justice, especially for the innocent. So if you know anything about this case, please let the authorities know. So that's the story of Nona Dirksmeyer and her unfortunate murder that wasn't solved. Well, murder is always unfortunate, but you know what I mean. The unfortunate part is that it wasn't solved, and it's a case that's still open. If you've got thoughts on this case, I would love to hear them. And like I said, maybe together we can shed some more light on this subject. What really happened on that fateful night in Russellville, Arkansas, and maybe bringing some closure to a family that's been waiting a very long time. Thanks for tuning in, folks. If you liked this story, there's more. Be sure to subscribe to the channel for true crime tales, mysteries, sci-fi, all things based on true events, unsolved mysteries, the unexplained and the absurd, and the very peculiar. Anything and everything that'll bring you to the edge of your seat. And don't forget to hit that like button if you were as intrigued as I was about this case. Until next time, stay curious, keep seeking truth, and I'll see you in the next file.